Today's math lesson is on surface area of rectangular prism. So instead of us dealing with volume, we're dealing with the area of each face. We're going to pretend this is a good rectangular prism. Question number 1 says, in each prism, shade all the edges that have the same length as the edge marked. So if in green this edge is marked, you are then going to go through and all of the edges that go up and down and are the same length, you would need to shade. If I was going to use a different color, say I used blue, and I had shaded this side, then all of the ones that match it would be shaded as well. So we notice that those are the same length. I could also go the other direction, and if this is shaded, then I would make all of these ones yellow. So we see that there's kind of 4 matching edges that make 2 rectangles that face each other, right? So we could have like these 2 rectangles with the yellow on the top and the bottom, right? Now, question 2, I'm going to put in a different color. For question 2, they're going to ask you to find the missing edge. So let's say I know that the back of this is 3 centimeters and the side here is 4 centimeters. My height going up and down is 2 centimeters, and they ask you to find this height over here. Your job would be to look at which one is the same. So what measurement is the same? It matches the other green line that we had for 2 centimeters. So you're just going to fill in that blank with the correct number. Now, for question number 3, we're going to be drawing each face. So if we have a rectangular prism, and I know that this is the front, we have the top, and we have the right side, and then I'm going to give you some measurements, and I'll put them in a different color just so they're easier to tell apart. So we might know that the edge of this top is 3 centimeters, it's 2 centimeters tall, and the front is 4 centimeters. We have to draw all 6 sides. So we're going to need a front, and the opposite of a front is a back. We need a top. The opposite of a top is a bottom. We need a right side. And the opposite of a right side is a left side. So now we're going to look at each face, and I'll put our work in yellow so it's easy to see. So for the front, what are the dimensions of the front face? If we look at the front face, we need to figure out what the measurements are. So going up and down, it is 2 centimeters. Side to side, it is 4. So if you were to draw this on graph paper, it would need to be 2 by 4. So it would have kind of 8 little squares in it. What would the dimensions be for the top? Yeah, so for the top, we have 3 on the side. We don't know the front, but we know it's the same as this one. So it's going to be 3 by 4. So your top will need to look a little bit bigger. It will be 4 across, but 3 up and down. What would the dimensions of the right side be? So the right side would be 2, because it's the same as this one over here, by 3, because that's going to match this one over here. So we'll draw this out as a 2 by 3. So it won't be quite as long, and it's only 2 high. Now, if I need to figure out the back, what is the back side the same as? The back is the same as the front, right? The front would be here. The back would be a second rectangle that's the same size. So we just need to draw it in below here. So once again, it's going to be 2 by 4. Our top is going to be the same as, the bottom will be the same as the top. So it will also be 3 by 4. And the right side is 2 by 3, because it's the same as the left side. So it is 2 by 3. Now for part B, they'll ask you to figure out the surface area of each side. So I'm going to do this in red. What would the area of the front be? Basically, how many little boxes do we have? So it would be 8 centimeters squared, because there are 8 boxes. What would the top be? 12 centimeters squared, because there's 12 little square centimeters. The right side would be 6 centimeters squared. The back is 8 centimeters squared. The bottom is 12 centimeters squared. And the left side is 6 centimeters squared. Now, our final question is going to ask us for the surface area of the prism. Now, the surface area of a prism is when we add all of the areas of all of the sides together. So, what would we get when we add all of these different sides together? So this would give us 52 centimeters squared. So as opposed to volume, which is cubed because it's multiplying 3, surface area is just squared because it's still a type of area, right? An area is just length times width. We just happen to be adding all of those areas together. So surface area is squared, volume is cubed. Questions 4 to 7 are just asking you to use this knowledge to help you solve. So you will have to figure out what's the front, what's the back, what's the right, all the missing sides, and then add them up together. But basically, you're finding each side, what the area is, each face, and then adding those all together.